Super fanboy guy. Do.
Hey everybody, guess who's back? Yes, it is me, Brandon, also known as Super Fanboy Guy on YouTube. I saw the Spider-Man No Way Home movie finally on Thursday, and then I saw it again on Friday. Holy shnikes, what a phenomenal movie. If you love comic books, if you love movies, you gotta see that one because it blew my mind. You know, it was everything that I've ever asked for in a Spider-Man movie and more. It was a masterpiece. Like, I loved it so much. And I think, yeah, everybody go see that movie. I might do like a review video of it later on my channel, but I just had to throw that out really quick. But it is a super awesome movie. And I felt like Spider-Man 2, the original Sam Raimi one, was my favorite Spider-Man movie since it first came out. But this new one, the No Way Home, it's finally #1 out of the best Spider-Man movies I've seen. And practically, it may be one of the best comic book movies that I ever seen as well, or that I ever saw. Yeah. So, okay, so enough about that. So let's go into what we're going to be talking about in this video. So this is going to be another Versus System deck profile, and we're going to kind of showcase the Avengers Leader deck. Now, for people that don't know what Avengers Leader is, there is a mechanic that some Versus System character cards have called Leader, and while characters are adjacent to that leader, they get certain effects, like, you know, plus attack, you know, they can't be stunned while attacking, those kind of effects. So that's kind of the deck that we're going to be talking about in this video. So I did a previous video on my channel, I think about almost 2 years ago. It was the Avengers Reservists deck. And that deck is going to have some of the this deck is going to have some of those cards as well. And we're going to be going over that too. But if you want to check out that Avengers Reservist deck, I'll put a link in the description of this video so everybody can check that out. This video is going to be the same as my other videos. We're going to talk about all the cards in the deck. And then I'm going to do like a little play testing session where we're going to play with some of the cards to kind of see, you know, some of the combos you can do and what are some of the good draws and bad draws. And I do want to leave a little disclaimer. I am not at all a professional pro Versus System player. I'm a casual guy and I like to play for fun. So in the playtest video, if you see me making some mistakes, you know, that's just common. It's going to happen, but, you know, feedback is greatly appreciated. So if you can leave it in the comments of this video, would be greatly appreciated. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do this deck profile. Okay, we're going to be kicking off things with our character cards. And you'll notice that we're going to go ahead and jump into 2-cost characters because there's actually no 1-cost characters in this deck. So we're going to start off with 2-cost characters. We first are going to run 4 copies of Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, Super Spy. She's a 3/2 with range. She has a reservist ability. And while she is team attacking, whenever she stuns a defender, you may stun target character with cost 3 or less. Our next 2-cost character is going to be Wasp, Janet Van Dyne. She is 2/3 with flight and range, concealed optional. She's going to be the first character that we have that has a leader effect, which is team attackers adjacent to Wasp cannot be stunned. For the most part, I usually put her in the concealed area, but there are a couple times when I want to put her in the visible area because, you know, if I notice cards in my hand or a bunch of visible characters that I want to, you know, get ready for some crazy team attacks, I'll put her in the visible area. But I would say about 8 times out of 10, she's usually in the concealed just to have another character that can't be stunned. Or to have a character in the concealed area that can't be touched, I guess is the best way to say that. So now we have our 3-cost characters, and we're going to be starting off with Quicksilver, Mutant Avenger. He has 4 attack, 5 defense. He also has a reservist ability. Whenever a defender becomes stunned by 1 or more team attackers you control, ready Quicksilver. Next, we have 4 copies of Patriot, Elijah Bradley, Young Avenger. He is a 5/4 with range. Whenever an adjacent character stuns an opposing character, rally for a character card, and that is a leader ability. He probably has one of the best leader abilities in our deck, so it could be really good if you have a bunch of like if you have 3 characters around him, and then you're able to rally for 3 character cards if you're lucky. So kind of a neat effect, and definitely I would say he's one of the MVPs of our deck. Next, we have 2 copies of Hawkeye Loudmouth. Not only is he an Avengers team character card, but he also has the Marvel's Defenders team affiliation. He is a 5/2 with range. He has Substitute. He has Backup, and Backup is an ability that you can only use during the build phase. Activate, discard a character card that shares a affiliation with Hawkeye. Stun any number of target characters with combined cost 2 or less. Use only during the build phase. And he is really good for getting rid of like army cards that cost 1. So like the shield agents, you could stun 2 of them if you want to, if you're playing against that shield burn deck. Next, we're going to go to our 4-cost characters, and we play 4 copies of Iron Man Tony Stark. He has flight and range, 7 attack, 7 defense. His leader ability is Avengers characters adjacent to Iron Man have flight and range and get +1 attack and +1 defense. Moving on to our 5-cost characters, we play 4 copies of Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel, Lady of Light. She has flight and range, 9 attack, 9 defense. Her leader ability is pay 3 endurance. Ready all team attackers adjacent to Monica Rambeau. Those team attackers cannot cause breakthrough this turn. Use this power only once per turn. Next, our 6-cost characters, we play 3 copies of Captain America Super Soldier. He has range, 12 attack, 12 defense. He has a leader ability. Avengers attackers adjacent to Captain America cannot be stunned. And Avengers defenders adjacent to Captain America get +2 attack and +2 defense. Our 7-cost characters consist of 2 copies of Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, Mighty Avenger. She has flight and range, 16 attack, 15 defense. And she is also has the shield team affiliation. Characters lose and cannot have reinforcement while defending against an adjacent character. And that's what her leader ability is. So pretty good for 7-drop. But obviously there's better 7-drop Avengers you can play. But I decided to put her in here because it was just a fun card. And with her ability, it's kind of like having a blindsided on a stick, which can be really useful. And the thing is that with her ability, you can't play like pathetic attempt to try to negate this attack because, you know, it's not targeting anything. So, which makes it a little bit better than blindsided. And our last character card of the deck. I mean, what Avengers deck is, you know, complete without Thor, the God of Thunder? And he is a 20 attack, 20 defense, flight range. He is also a leader. And I think it's pretty cool that the foil version of this card has like the Asgardian writing to it. So it makes it a little bit cooler. So that's the image that I'm showing up here. Anyway, so each Avengers character adjacent to Thor gets +X attack, where X is that character's cost. So if you have Miss Marvel next to it, she gets +7 attack. If you have Captain America next to him, that's +6 attack. So helps really good if you're on the initiative, because then you play Thor and all your guys get beefy attacks, and so you can attack first. So yeah, very cool card and a very classic card. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our first plot twist, which is our 1-cost plot twist. And this one is Nasty Surprise. Target defender gets +5 attack for this attack, and we play 2 copies of it. You could take this card out for other cards, but I just like having 2 copies in my deck because it's just kind of nice to get that surprise stunt. You know, people don't expect this card in a deck, so they feel like, oh, I'm going to attack my 5-drop into your 4-drop, and then you play Nasty Surprise, and you end up exchanging your 4-drop, or you end up stunning your 4-drop and then you get to stun their 5-drop. So that's why I've always kind of liked this card. I think it's a underrated card. I think it should be seen in more decks, but that's just my opinion. Okay, next we have 4 copies of Flying Kick. Target character has flight this turn. While attacking this turn, that character gets +3 attack. Alright, so moving on to our 2-cost plot twist cards, we're going to play 4 copies of Legendary Battles. While team attacking this turn, Avengers characters you control get +1 attack and cannot be stunned. So obviously we have some characters in our deck that have some synergies while team attacking. So this card goes really well if you're team attacking, let's say with Black Widow and Janet our Wasp Janet Van Dyne, because you can play this and make sure that both of those characters don't get stunned while attacking. So just a decent team attack card. Okay, next we play 3 copies of Cover Fire. Target defender gets +2 defense this attack for each other non-stun character with range you control. So all of the characters in our deck, with the exception of Quicksilver, I believe, have range. So this is a really good card since most of our characters have range. You know, give them extra defense, so could potentially not be stunned by your opponent's attackers. All right, starting off with our 3-cost plot twist, we're going to play 3 copies of Code White. Each player may recover a stun character he controls. KO all non-leaders recovered this way. Our next 3-cost plot twist is going to be 4 copies of Young Avengers. Avengers characters you control get +2 attack while attacking characters this turn. If you control an attacking leader, attackers you control cannot be stunned this attack. So this card is very similar to Legendary Battles, except you have to be attacking with a leader, and it's for an extra attack. Our next plot twist is going to be 4 copies of Avengers Assemble. As an additional cost to play Avengers Assemble, discard a leader card. Search your deck for an Avengers character card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Each character you recruit this turn with the same name as the card you revealed comes into play with a +1 attack, +1 defense counter on it. So this is our main search card that we use in the deck. Now you could also, for more like Avengers Reservists builds, you can play Avengers Reassembled in place of this, but I decided to play Avengers Assemble because this is actually the cheaper search card. I think this card can run you between $5 or $10, whereas Avengers Reassemble is closer to $30, so that one could be a little bit more pricey. But yeah, so Avengers Assemble it's one of the very first Avengers search cards that they had, so we're gonna play it in our deck. So moving on to our 4-cost plot twist, we're going to start with 2 copies of Press the Attack. Play only if you control 4 or more exhausted non-stun characters. Ready target character. So very good when you start playing characters and you start team attacking. And you can team attack with like 4 characters and then play the ready one of them. So a lot of synergy with that. And our deck can potentially do a lot of team attacking. So it has like a team attack sub theme to it as well, but you don't necessarily need to team attack all the time. But anyway, so that is Press the Attack. So our last card in the deck we're going to talk about is 4 copies of Switching Sides. To play, exhaust a Avengers character you control, move target stun character to your front row. It gains the Avengers team affiliation. Now, I don't know. There's a bunch of good targets you can choose with him, and I don't know what would be the very best one. Oh, wait! I know exactly the best card to steal with this. You steal Superman Metropolis Marvel. Yeah, Superman Metropolis Marvel is the perfect target to take over with this, because especially if you're playing a multiplayer game, because this happened to me last week at my local game store. We were doing a 3-person multiplayer, and my buddy Alessandro played Metropolis Marvel. I was able to stun him and then take him away with Switching Sides. So now that Superman ended up being like a 16-16 or a 17-17, which was pretty sweet to have. So yeah, I would say Superman Metropolis Marvel is the best target to get with this card. All right, so let's kind of play test the deck and to show everybody what are some of the strategies and some of the cool little combinations you can do with the deck. So I already got my deck loaded up here, so let's go ahead and shuffle it a couple of times here. And actually, I gotta really do better using the shortcut keys, but okay, let's go ahead and shuffle, and let's just go ahead and see what we can do. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I would probably mulligan this hand because we just have too many plot twists, and ideally we would like a 2 and a 3 cost character, so I think we could do better with this, so I'm going to go ahead and mulligan. And okay, this is pretty good. We got a couple of, we got 2 reservists and plot twists, so if we don't draw any more plot twists, we can at least put reservists in the resource row that we can use to recruit later. So, okay, so it's going to be our turn 1, so let's go ahead and draw some cards. Okay, so let's go ahead and put Young Avengers into our resource row. And we obviously don't have any 1-drops in this deck, so we pass. So let's go ahead and go to the next turn. And we press the attack and Quicksilver. Okay, so we would play this one face down into our resource row. And we're going to go ahead and recruit Black Widow into the resource row. And that's all we can really do. And let's go ahead and next turn to draw our cards. Okay, we got a flying kick, so we can go ahead and place that into the resource row. And then, depending on what deck we're going to play, you might want to play either Hawkeye or Quicksilver. I'm going to assume we're going to not play an army type deck, so we're just going to go ahead and play Quicksilver. So depending on what our opponent has, let's say if they have like a 2-cost character and a 3-cost character, we could do a thing where we can team attack with them. And then, you know, if, say for an example, Natasha gets stunned and, you know, he doesn't get stunned, he can ready and then attack directly at our opponent again. But then if, let's say they stun him, then obviously he doesn't recover. But Natasha would obviously stun somebody with a cost 3 or less. So we can get some. Usually this is a pretty good turn if you can get it off correctly. But I'm going to go ahead and reset my life total here. And I don't think it really matters. But okay, so you can either do that, or the other thing you can do is you can just attack with her and attack with him. Obviously, it's another thing you can do on this turn. But okay, let's go ahead and recover and go to the next turn. Okay, let's go ahead and play this into our resource row. And obviously our only 4-cost character is going to be Iron Man, so we're going to go and play him. And you definitely want to set up your formation something like this, because Iron Man, while he's adjacent, while characters are adjacent to him, they get +1/+1. So, you know, Natasha, you can use something to illustrate a +1/+1 counter. Same with that, so you can know that they have that effect. But again, so on turn 4, depending on what initiative you have, you know, maybe a safer attack is to have Iron Man attack like their 3-cost characters, or something that you know that won't stun him back. And then you can either attack individually with Natasha and Quicksilver, or you can team attack with both of them, and then maybe Natasha can stun a character that they have in the hidden area that costs 3 or less, and then maybe you could ready Quicksilver and attack again. Just a possible move you could do on this turn. So, okay, so let's say we go to recovery. We're going to go to turn 5, and let's go ahead and draw our cards. And we drew Monica pretty well. We did draw Avengers Assemble, which is good because it guarantees our 7-drops, so we can curve out really well, because we could play Monica on turn 5, Captain America on turn 6, get Captain Marvel on turn 7, and play Thor on turn 8. So these draws have been pretty good for us. We drew all of our plot twists on time, and we're gonna play Monica and Rambeau. Now, depending on obviously what initiative you have, is gonna be how you're gonna set up your characters. So if we were gonna be attacking first, you might want to set up something where you have Monica, you know, you might either set something up like that, or you might set up something like, I don't know, something like this if you wanted to protect Monica for whatever reason. Or what you actually could do is you can do something like, well, maybe you don't want to put Quicksilver in the, you want to make sure he has flight and range while adjacent to Iron Man, so take that into consideration. But maybe something like this if we were on the initiative. Now, if we weren't on the initiative, so they were attacking first, maybe doing something like this might be good. Or you can put Quicksilver up in front and put Iron Man back here. Although I do like the fact of having Monica as a 10-10, so maybe this is the best formation. I don't know. You could do something like that. So, and obviously Monica, you know, she's really better on the initiative, because let's say for an example, we do something like, I don't know, like this, and we're going to have Monica, you know, we're going to set up something like this. So if it's our initiative, we can team attack with maybe those two characters, or maybe even Iron Man too. Do a big team attack. We can then use her ability to pay 3 endurance to ready all the team attackers that were adjacent to her. So you get that, and I think they can't cause breakthrough. Yep. So they can't cause breakthrough, but then you can still do a team attack with Natasha and Quicksilver. And then after that attack resolves, Natasha can maybe stun another 3-cost character, and if Quicksilver doesn't get stunned, he can ready. You know, you can have him pack another character, and then have Monica attack someone else, and then Quicksilver attack someone else. Or not Quicksilver, Iron Man. You can have Iron Man attack someone else. So, okay, so then let's say it, and actually, these technically wouldn't be on because they're not adjacent to Iron Man too. So let's say we go to recovery and let's draw some new cards. So 1 and 2. Man, we're running low on the plot twists in this game. So, okay, so let's say it's our initiative and we row the resource there. And then we're going to play Captain America. Now, Captain America it's another one of those cards, depending on whether you're on the initiative or not, determines how you're going to form. But typically when I'm on the initiative, I like to put the weaker characters around Captain America so they get that +2 attack, +2 defense. So if we weren't on the initiative, I maybe would do something like this, maybe protect Natasha, maybe do something like that. Yeah, it might be better but also you want to utilize Cap's effect really well. So maybe do something like, you know, maybe you want to form like this even though Quicksilver can attack. I don't know, maybe even going like this. Yeah, maybe, I don't know if that's the correct formation or not, but so, okay, let's say, and then again, if it's our initiative, you know, characters adjacent to him can't be stunned while attacking. So if we're on the initiative, we definitely want to be doing we're probably going to be doing regular attacks and not team attacking, but you can maybe team attack with these two, and then they don't get stunned because of Captain America's effect. And then you can ready Quicksilver again, and he can go in for an attack. Probably, you're not going to utilize, when you have 3 leaders on the board like this, you know, you're not going to have, one of your leaders is not going to, their leader ability is not going to be fully invested. So you might have some characters that are not going to be adjacent that can't really get the benefit of their effect. But sometimes, depending on where you are in the game, if you're winning in particular, it may not even matter. But so you can do stuff like that on turn 6. So let's go to turn 7 and draw our cards. And let's go ahead and put a plot twist in the resource row. And actually, we haven't used any of these, our resource row yet, which I don't know if you would still have all these resources by turn 7 or not. But we're going to go ahead and play Avengers Assemble. So we got to discard a leader card so we can discard this Iron Man. And obviously, we're going to search for our Captain Marvel, or Carol Danvers. Miss Marvel, sorry. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get her. And go ahead and shuffle that up and play her like that. And again, depending if it's your initiative or not is depending on how you form. I don't know what the correct form when you're on turn 7, but let's say for an example we lost 2 characters. Maybe we lost those 2. And this sounds a little bit more kind of similar to what we might experience. So you could do something like that, or maybe Captain America is still good, so maybe something like that. And you could have Captain America attack and somebody not have reinforcement with her. But yeah, and oh, by the way, she gets forgot to give her a +1/+1 counter because we did recruit her with Avengers Assemble. So she is currently a 17/16. So you might form something like this, maybe change some characters around, but I don't know what the correct formation would be. But what's really cool is, let's say they stun our Carol Danvers. We do have a code white that we can play. So we could play code white and recover Carol, and don't worry about anybody getting KO'd. So that's something that we could do. And the other cool thing that can happen is if, let's say, we do some attacks, this would probably be a pretty good turn to press the attack on Carol so she can attack again. And then obviously you can also play, instead of doing that, the other thing you can do, let's say we're going to play Flying Kick on Carol Danvers and she attacks for 17-20. Then we can do press the attack, ready her, and then she can attack for another 20 again. So that's, you can kind of see this deck is pretty simple for the most part, I think. So, you know, you can do stuff like that. And let's just say we go to recovery, and let's go ahead and draw our 2 cards. And then we obviously have Thor this turn. So we're going to go ahead and play Thor. I feel he's really good when we have the initiative. So when you play Thor, you want to get as many characters close to him as possible. So you probably want to put all your highest characters adjacent to him. And I mean, Iron Man actually may be KO'd at this point. So let's kind of play it like that, because by turn 8. So now this is really good because we can have everybody utilize Thor's ability. And the other thing you could do, if we did it this way, is that better? I don't know. Like the weird thing about the leader cards is that they have like the form. It really affects the formation of how you're gonna form your characters, because depending on whether you have the initiative, or I know I say this a lot, but whether you have the initiative or don't have the initiative depends on how you're gonna set up your cards. But I think if we're on the initiative, this would be a pretty decent setup because we want everybody to get the plus X attack from Thor, which can be really helpful in dealing damage if they're at 50 endurance for whatever reason at this point, if we're playing like a stall deck or something like that. But so yeah, that's pretty much the Avengers leader deck in a nutshell. I know the video is a little bit longer. I think it's about 33 minutes or over 30 minutes. So I'm going to cut it off right there. So thank you everybody for watching. And again, please support the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing too. Just leave a comment on what you like or don't like. A lot of people haven't been doing it on my channel, and it really means a lot to me when you guys give me feedback. So if you guys can please tell me what I can do to improve, it would be greatly appreciated. But that'll pretty much do it, and I'll see you in the next video.